Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I did want to inform you guys that I did enlist in the Air Force. Yay! Um, and so I wanted to go over my Meps visit, what we did, how it went, what to expect. So I've started this journey around June 2022, and I went to Meps. And if I look down, you guys, that's because I have my notes down here. Um, but I did go to Meps, and you check into the hotel the day before. You are able to drive down there that day if you're just going to do things separately, or if you want to. You can talk that over with your recruiter. But I drove down there that day because I didn't want to have to wait for everyone to be done. That was my personal preference. I wanted to drive down there and leave when I was done. So my first initial Meps visit, I got there around 5. We lined up outside the Meps. They go over the briefing with you. You go through the metal detectors and everything. So please remember, do not bring any weapons or anything you can't carry with you inside of an airport. Let's just leave it at that. So we go in this room, they brief us, they tell us what we're going to be going through, the process, what the doctors are going to be doing. And after that, we met with our liaison. So each branch, it's going to be Air Force, Army, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard. Everyone is going to be meeting at this Meps, the military entrance processing station, to get into the military. So everyone then reports to their liaison after the briefing that we went through in the morning, and then they will give you instruction from there. If you're going to get a physical or to take the ASVAB test, then you will have to leave your phone with them. And so I went to the Air Force liaison. I checked in with them, and then I left my phone. I went upstairs to the ASVAB testing, went through a briefing for that, took the ASVAB, and my whole experience with this ASVAB, I was rushed because as a female, they needed us to be done by 9 o'clock, I think it was, and they were trying to get me in for the physical all in one day. I wanted to try and get all of this, as much as I could, done all in one day. So for the ASVAB, the lady was telling me, hey, this is going to be the last chance that they're going to take females. So in my head, I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm here for the physical too. But I'm not done with the ASVAB. So I finished the 4 sections that I needed to finish that equate into your scores, basically. And then the rest of it, I kind of just guessed on just so I could get done. So I did that. I was the last female that was able to go in for the medical and be seen that day. When I went, I checked in with the woman at the front desk. And then I went and I got hearing done. And you do go into a booth where you're putting on headsets and you have a clicker. And so the beeps are like beep, 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 and you click once. Do not click 3 times, click once. So you'll hear that throughout. And then as that went on, it slowly but surely, I couldn't tell if it was a beep or if I just thought it was a beep in my head. But I would click it. I was just like, was that a beep? Click. It was, you'll be able to tell though. Once you get in there, you'll be hearing your heartbeat more than the beeps. It's like, was that a beep? Click. But so that was the hearing test. And then you meet with the doctor, you do your vision test. It's the same thing that you would go through if you were at an optometrist getting eyeglasses. So they go over your vision. You do the color vision test. So they show you all these different numbers with colors on them, and you just tell them what number it is. They'll flip through it. You do, if you're going into the Air Force, you do go through a depth perception test. And so all the dots, they pretty much look the same. And you'll tell whoever's doing your test which dot stands out to you. Yeah, that test, do the best you can. I guess I do have depth perception, but it was a little tricky. But that's only for Air Force. And then I did do the height and weight. They take you into this room. It'll be males to males, females to females. You'll take your shoes off. They did height, weight, and then from there, we went to take our urinalysis. And so you won't be going into the bathroom stalls by yourself. There's no doors. You will be going in. There is a Meps worker that is there who will be standing right there. My advice is just be as mature as possible. You remember what you're there for. Go do your urinalysis, wipe the cup, and then there's a woman that's in the window that's in the bathroom, and you go and you take it to her. For females, they did do a pregnancy test as well. So that was that. And then, so the hearing, vision, height, weight. And then after that, you just sit in the waiting room, and it's a lot of hurry up and wait, and you'll get familiar with that. I take it if you're watching this video, you're thinking about joining the military. This is the process that everyone has to go through in order to get in the branch that they want to get into. And so we waited in the waiting room. They have movies playing. Try your best not to fall asleep. Try not to fall asleep. It's going to be an early day. It's going to be a lot of waiting around. Just try your best not to fall asleep. So I was like one of the last few people, of course, because I was one of the last few ones that got checked in. So I went, I saw the doctor. With right now, they do have the new Genesis system. And so make sure on that form that you initially fill out with your recruiter that you're putting your conditions down that you have. Of course, not any little thing, not I sprained my ankle, or unless that became like you fracturing or breaking or something of that nature where you have a medical history for it, or it affects you now. But don't put little things down that, I got a cut in second grade. That stuff won't really, it's not pertaining to that. It's the conditions that you have now, the major conditions, if it affects you now. So just remember, they do have access to your medical records. So tell the truth. And what else? So she did go into my medical history, and there were a couple of things that I needed to get more documentation on, which was fine. So for that time being, my process it came to a halt. And so, I had to go to all my doctors, get documentation. So I wasn't able to swear in that day, but I did go and get all the paperwork I needed and provided them with what they needed. Let's see. So, and then I did end up having to get a waiver. And so fast forward to 2023, because this is how long the process does take. Please do not think you are going to start this process and just go through it and it'll be a week or two before you're in. Unless, of course, you don't have a medical history and things go smoothly with your process. But that rarely happens. And if it does, props to you. You must be young. But yeah, so I did have to get a waiver. and that went through the Surgeon General. So I did get temporarily disqualified, and that didn't stop me. I just felt like everything, I've been getting into physical shape. I've been maintaining my weight. I'm nowhere near my maximum weight limit. I've lost a lot of weight, and I've been putting some effort into staying physically in shape. So I don't have any conditions that would stop me. So I did have patience. You do have to have patience. Please, 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 please have patience. Stick to your routine. Stick to why you want to join. So fast forward 2023, my waiver was approved. The Surgeon General approved my waiver, and I did go back to Meps sometime in September, and I swore in. So I did go to Meps the day before, or I went to the hotel the day before. I did drive to the hotel though still, because I wanted to be able to, like I said, leave when I was ready to leave. So I did drive to the hotel, stayed there. Once I got to the hotel, you park, you go to the area where it's the Air Force, or the area where Meps is having, you check in. And you go, you check in. They have a briefing at 8 o'clock. So you go up to your room, put your stuff down, relax for a little bit.
My theory is this board. Personally, I don't really like roar. They're gross. But for a challenge, roar is something that I can knock out of the park. The person who owns this porch.
You meet your roomie, because you will have somebody who's in the room with you, and talk to them, get acquainted with them. And then come 8 o'clock, you guys will both go down and get briefed on what's going to happen tomorrow, what time you need to be up, all that kind of stuff. And excuse me. And then at 3 o'clock, you get a wake up call. So get your rest. Don't stay up all night. Get some rest. 3 o'clock, we had our wake up call. We went downstairs, and I'll input a video of what I was wearing. But females, be sure to wear a regular bra and underwear that cover the whole gluteus maximus, okay? No thongs or anything of that sort, because you just never know if they do take you up to medical, what they'll be doing. They didn't end up taking me up to medical, but I wore that just in case. But that was for the first time I went to Meps. When I did go do the physical, just a heads up, remember to wear full bra and full underwear that covers everything for the underwear Olympics. And that's what I did not get into. The underwear Olympics, the first time I went, is between you and the doctor. It wasn't like others have said in their video of a group of your gender doing the underwear Olympics. It was just a one-on-one of me and my doctor, making sure I could move all my limbs and I had full range of motion. We did the duck walk, the famous duck walk, which wasn't too bad. You do end up taking all your clothes off and putting on the paper, you know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The paper thing that covers up everything, and they will check, they check down there, they check your butt, they check your back for scoliosis. And during this process, don't make jokes, just let the doctor do what they need to do. Be mature about it. Act like it's a regular doctor's appointment, and it'll go as fast as it needs to go. And so, skipping back to where I was at, I forgot to add that part in, but skipping back to where I was at. So the second time I went to Meps, I had on everything I need to have on just in case they brought me up to medical. They didn't end up doing that. So we did go down at 3 o'clock for our wake up call. They fed us breakfast. We got on, they got on the bus. I drove to Meps, and you do the same thing again. You'll meet outside. They split you up into people who are doing the full physical or just doing partial. And so I was in the back to do the partial because I already did my physical and everything. They take you in, you'll go to the metal detectors, make sure you don't have anything on you, and you'll meet with your liaison, and then you'll basically go where they need you to go. At that point, all I did was I stayed downstairs and I was in the waiting room where they had a movie playing. At that point, they didn't take our phones or anything because I wasn't going to be going up to medical, or I wasn't going to be doing any testing. So you were able to have your phones. They had movies playing. It's a lot of waiting when you get to Meps, and so that's what it was. I waited, and then they finally called me. My liaison called me. We went through the process of me signing documents. You go over the jobs that you want. I needed to start my fingerprinting, and so he gave me the document. I waited in line for that. They did the fingerprints. You did step 2, I think, which was just meeting back with your liaison. So after you're done with each step, you'll realize that you meet back with your liaison, because you're just kind of doing what they need you to do, meet back with them. Go to what they need you to do, meet back with them. So I met back with my liaison. We went over the contract and everything, and then I went to go get sweared in. But before I went to go get sweared in, I did end up eating lunch. They do feed you lunch at Meps at noon, and so we did do that. They give you it's kind of like a Subway sandwich, chips, water or soda. They give you granola bars, and yeah. So they'll make sure you're fed. Whether or not it's what you want to eat, it is food, and you will be hungry. At least I was by that time. So eat what you want to eat, and then hurry up and get back to wherever station you're at. So I did end up swearing in. And so after that, I met back with my liaison, and I was done.
You solemnly swear?
You solemnly swear.
So maybe 2 days later, my recruiter calls me, because I didn't swear in with a job. I did swear into the delayed entry program, the DEP program, which is okay. It's not a bad thing. A lot of people do swear into the DEP program, of course, if your job isn't available. So my job wasn't the jobs that I wanted. You'll make a list. And I did this before I went to MEPS with my recruiter. That's what the Air Force does. Other jobs, I think they will have you make a list with the MEPS liaison of your branch. But before I went in, my recruiter was already able to see that my job wasn't ready. So I already knew I was going to be swearing into the DEP program. So about 2 days later, after I swore in, my recruiter calls me. He says, I have the job that you want, and it ships out December 12th. Mind you, this job wasn't on my list, but when I looked at it, I was interested in it. So I was like, okay, take the job that you want. Be willing to wait for the job that you want. No one else is going to do this job but you. So that's my advice. Take the job that you want. Don't be all willy-nilly and just be impatient and take whatever that they give you. Of course, if you want to, and if you're ready to quick ship, go for it. Take whatever's available. That is the best way to quick ship, is by taking what's available. But if you have a preference in the jobs that you want, be willing to wait to get one of those jobs that you have on the list. Now, even though one of the jobs on my list wasn't available, the job that he provided me with, I looked into it. I was willing to do it. So, so I secured that job, and I'm very happy about it. It was bioenvironmental engineering. And so I he told me my shipping date, and so I will be shipping out in December. So yeah, that's my journey so far. The process, it wasn't like the smoothest. As you could tell, I had started the process in 2022. I finished it in 2023. So about a year it took to stick with it, stick with the job you want, continue to get the documents they need for you for Meps in order to get you approved. And that's of course if you get disqualified or anything interrupts your process. Stick with it. If you need to get a waiver, get the waiver, get the documents they need. I would suggest having all your records from each doctor on hand. And it was a lot of back and forth, but whatever they need, be available and ready to get that for them. Um, yeah. And so that's my advice for you. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe this video. I will be coming out with more videos for you guys along my Air Force journey. And I will be coming up with the Air Force BMT packing video. So stay tuned for that, and make sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll be notified when I do post another video. I appreciate all the comments that you guys leave and all the feedback that I get. And yeah, stay blessed and y'all have a good day.